Beautiful water.
This week on Life on Jupiter, we finally arrive at spectacular Bahamas. We complete the modern day protocols and have a thing or two to learn about shallow water navigation. And be sure not to miss part 3 of Sundowners. We just saw our first Bahamanian shark.
Only the fins.
He's about this long. Just in the shallows, his fin was sticking out, his tail was sticking out. Just sniffing around. And a huge ray.
Yeah, that's the biggest ray I've seen ever.
Yeah. Look at that, look at the water. Spectacular. So this is our first island in Bahamas. In Agua, where we checked in, and it's a nothing special island, but it is spectacularly beautiful. And the beautiful thing about it, apart from the water and the sand, is no people. So a huge bay all to ourselves. Hello, Chucky. Thank you. Welcome.
He's trying to avoid us.
We are so happy to be here in the Bahamas. Finally. I know it sounds a bit cliched, Bahamas, but and maybe because it's so close to America and so easy to get to from the US, from Florida. Maybe it is a bit cliched, but it's just one of those meccas of sailing that you got to tick it off. And I can see the amazing beauty of the place. I mean, this island here in Agua, there's really nothing much here except a salt plant over there. But that's one of the beauties of it, is that we're basically alone. I don't think there's any other sailing boat here right now, although we are expecting friends to arrive late today and then another one tomorrow. But
They're all moving.
yeah, they just check in here and then go north. So far, very impressed with Bahamas. So we checked in yesterday and took a while, like 4 or 5 hours, I think, 4 hours at least.
They're all...
But it would have been quicker if we tried to do the online check-in customs thing, which is brand new starting February. So it was a bit glitchy in the beginning and it just didn't work for us. But when we got here, they said, oh, no, you have to do it. So pulled out the computer and used their Wi-Fi, and we managed to get through it, and it worked this time. But yeah, everyone we met was super friendly, make conversation, all the officials were joking, the immigration guy had his car rocking out with loud music, and yeah, it was very cool.
Oh my god, be careful! It hurts! Ow!
Sorry. So this week we've sailed St. Martin to Bahamas. 3.5 day sail, just a bit less than 4. It was a good passage, except the last day we had to motor about 10 hours. No wind at all. But we got tired, you know. I mean, it takes a few days to get into the rhythm of sleeping minimally. Like that first night, I didn't sleep. Maybe 20 minutes is all I got for the whole day. But yeah, recovered now, and we're heading back down to Matthewtown to see some friends who have just checked in. Fishermen.
Wow, look at that. I'm scared now.
Try and walk on the edges of the steps.
Here?
Yeah, on the outside or inside. Try not to put your weight in the middle, as if they break. Oh, there's some missing steps too, so be careful. It's only wood. That one's broken. Actually, the steel was broken. Apart from the wood, the steel. Don't let go of the rail. So we might have lunch at this restaurant here. Whew, it's a fair walk. And apparently over in this lake here is flamingos. But I can see them flying. Look over there. Yeah, big swarm of pink.
Are they gonna fly again? They fly together.
Scary. We'll go down there. We would have loved to hang around and enjoy the scenery here, but we were on a mission. We had to get to Nassau for Princess's US visa interview, and that was 850 miles away. So we had to get a move on. Coming up to the bite of Banklings, which is a big lagoon, big shallow lagoon, 1 meter, 2 meters deep, and it's about 20 miles wide, you know, so it's a big lagoon, and we can actually see the different light being reflected up into the clouds there. You see over seaward it's sort of grey and a bit hazy, but over the bite it's glowing blue. It's awesome. I can't wait to get in there. So this is, we're just here now. This whole area, so there's 29 miles from there to there. It's 30 miles and probably 20 miles across of very shallow water. Have a look at the satellite. Beautiful. So we're planning on going up this way and then around to Long Cay. The charted depth showed about 3 meters or less for the entire way through the bight. So we decided to initially motor through just until we got a feel of the accuracy of the charts and how best to get through these shallows. Once we became confident in identifying the depths of the water, relying mostly on the colour, we pulled out the headsail. At least we could easily furl that away and change our speed if necessary. How beautiful is this? And 3.5 meters, that's below the rudder, so there's like 5 meters of water right here, but just the colour is amazing. The light is so unique. Clouds hiding in the go around this guy. We got the alarm set for 2 meters below the rudder, so it's just a warning. It doesn't mean we're going to hit, but it wakes us up. 2 rocks here we go in between. And then the other one. Feel like we're over it. Oh, we were.
Huh?
Jeez, we were just fucking so much sideways drift. Obviously, I won't put the dagger board down. We're trying to go upwind here, but I don't want to put the dagger board down, do I? Because it will just hit the bottom. It's alright, we can slide sideways. Out of the wind. The camera has a microphone, do you? That was a close one, B. We got to get this right. You want to do, that's minus 20, that's plus 20, okay?
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah. Good.
So it really is eyeball navigation. I mean, the chart gives us some idea of where it's deeper, where it's shallower, but these rocks, that would break rudders, that one. And you got to remember, because we're sailing, the leeway. So we're not going straight ahead. We're actually going about 20 degrees to the left at the moment, because we've only got the headsail up and no dagger boards. Hey. No. No. You don't want to land there. He had his feet out like that.
Let's come back, Pete.
Hey. No. No. That's $700 that transducer. Hey ho.
He's trying to land.
Hey, welcome to this week's Sundowners. So what we're doing with the Sundowners segment is going through a list of 4 key areas that you need to sort out in order to go cruising, and if possible, indefinitely. So last week we spoke about money. This week we're going to talk about time. So I'll tell you a little bit about my background. This stint on Jupiter² for the last 2.5 years is the first time that I've cruised indefinitely in my life. Prior to that, I had my career building, and I could only go sailing initially on weekends, on days off. My last job, I had a roster of 6 weeks on, 3 weeks off. So that 3 weeks gave me a real taste of being able to say that I'm going cruising around Southeast Asia. And it was great to have 3 weeks off at a time. But all it did was whet my appetite for more, So I can tell you that sailing on short periods of time, I can remember sailing out of North Queensland and out of Townsville down to the Whitsundays, which is about, I can't remember now, 200 mile, 300 mile. And I only had 1 week off to go down there, enjoy it, and come back. And it ended up forcing me to sail when the weather was not suitable. It was horrible, actually. It was on the nose and gusting 35. And I was in a crappy old ferro cement mono, which was that was my second keel boat, and it just didn't sail very well. It was too heavy, the sails were too tired, and it was a terrible trip, motor sailing for 43 hours non-stop, no sleep. It was horrible. Enjoyed the Whitsundays and ended up having a nice sail back, but sailing on a schedule sucks. Seriously does. And I know, I'm a realist. I know that most of us, that's all we can do. But let me tell you, the amazing feeling of sailing without a schedule, sailing when the weather is right, it is a complete change and just so much more relaxing. It is way better, way better. So that's what I want to help you guys achieve, to strive to get these 4 key areas in order so that you can do that. So if you were just to have some time off work to go sailing, how long would you need to get a real good taste of it? I would recommend 4 months. I know that's a long time to ask your boss, can I get 4 months off work? But 4 months will give you a good taste of the Caribbean if you're coming from the States. It'll give you a good taste of the Med if you're coming from Europe. And it'll give you a good taste of Southeast Asia if you're coming from Australia or New Zealand. So 4 months is the sort of a nice time frame to aim for to get a real taste of cruising without a schedule. So let's now talk about timing in your life of when you can go sailing. Now, hang on a minute. This is obviously not going to be a simple subject, and it's going to be different for everyone, and I don't have the solution, only you do. There'll always be obstacles in the way of you going sailing full time, always. And that brings us to the end subject of having the will to make it happen. you're going to have, oh, kid's got to finish school. Kid's got to finish uni. Oh, when I retire. Oh, when I've got enough money. Oh, when my wife's happy on the boat. She's not very comfortable. There's everything will be trying to hold you back from untying the lines. So that's when it comes down to your will. And how important is it? That's only up for you to decide. I can't decide that for you. But it's not an easy change. It is a complete lifestyle change. So you have to work out your own timing. But all I can offer is perhaps the way I've always thought about it. Even since age 30, I was always of the opinion that I may die tomorrow. So get it done now. Get it done, because if you wait, you may be too late. Cheers.